Welcome to the IBM Security Lab Services video series. This video will show how to perform the IBM Security Identity Governance virtual appliance deployment and base configuration. This video will show how to deploy the ISIC 5.1.1 virtual appliance onto a vSphere server, configured to use an ISIC database and an email server. For reference, the viewer should be familiar with the IBM Security Identity Governance Knowledge Center article on Installation Guide, Installation, Setting up the virtual machine. Using a vSphere client, connect to the appropriate vSphere server. Right-click the server, select New Virtual Machine. Using the wizard, select Custom, select Next, select the name for the virtual appliance, select the storage location, select the virtual machine version of 8. You must select the guest operating system to be Linux, other 2.6x Linux 64-bit. Select the appropriate amount of CPUs and virtual sockets. Select Next. Select at least 16 gigabytes of RAM. You must define a minimum of 3 network cards. These network cards can either be E1000 or VMX NAT3 type, and at a minimum the first network card has to be connected. Select the LSI logical parallel. Create a new virtual disk. The minimum required disk size is 100 gigabytes. Select thin provision or thick provision depending on your requirement. Select SCSI. Select Edit the virtual machine settings before completion. Select Continue. In this panel we will select a CDD/DVD. Select Data Store ISO file. Browse to the ISO file for the image. Select the ISO image which you have downloaded for the virtual appliance. Select OK. Make sure you select Connect at Power On. Select Finish. This will create your entry for the new ISIC 5.1 virtual appliance. Select the appliance entry. Select Start or Power On. Select Console. Once the appliance has booted from the ISO image, select the language. Enter Yes because you want to perform an installation. The actual installation task can take several minutes. Monitor the screen for any changes. Once you see that the firmware image is successfully installed, and to unmount the installation medium, select the virtual machine, select Edit Settings, select CD/DVD drive 1, unmark Connected and Connected at Power On, select OK. On the warning message, select Yes and OK. Return focus to the console and press the Enter key. This will restart the virtual appliance from the actual virtual hard drive. Wait for the system to boot to the login prompt. Once the login prompt is displayed, authenticate using the admin user with the default admin password. Press Enter to continue. Select 4 to accept the license. Select 1 to agree. Select N to not change the password at this time. Select 1 to change the hostname. Change the hostname to the fully qualified DN. Select N for next. By default, the system will use DHCP to configure the network. If you want to change the configuration, use these panels to change it to a static IP address. If you want to continue to use DHCP at this time, select Next. Use these screens to set the DNS servers as needed. In this example, we don't set them at this time and we select Next. Change the time zone by selecting 3. Select 2 for Americas. Enter 8 for CDT. Select 2 to change the date. Select 1 to change the time. Select End for the next screen. Select 1 to accept the configuration. Once you see the prompt returning with the new host name, the base configuration of the appliance has almost completed. We need to find out the IP address of the appliance at this time. Use the following commands to find the IP address. Select Tools, Connections. As seen in the first row, the appliance IP address is 9.48.172.213. Using a browser such as Firefox, navigate to this IP using HTTPS on port 9443. Accept the certificate exception. This will take you to the LMI login screen. Authenticate to the LMI, again using the admin with the admin password. You will see the second part of the base configuration. We will perform a guided configuration. Select Next Page. Configure an email server. Save configuration. Select Next Page. Configure the database configuration. Enter the IP for the hostname. Enter the port number. Enter the database name. Enter the database user password, which is IDS, and save the configuration. This password was set when running the create user shell script in the database configuration step. The configuration of the database may take a couple of minutes. Once the configuration is complete, select Next Page. Select Complete Setup. Select Restart the appliance now. Select Restart again. Wait for several minutes and then select the After your appliance restart, click here. Once the appliance has restarted, make sure that the service status shows Started and select the Identity Governance Central Administration tab. If your DNS does not resolve the host name specified during the configuration, you may have to replace this with the physical IP address of the appliance. Accept the warning for the certificate, and you will see the login prompt for the administration console. Authenticate with admin. This completes the deployment and base configuration of the IBM Security Identity Governance 5.1.1 virtual appliance.